I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about 5 signs your relationship won't last. You know, Margaret, there are a lot of things that can make a relationship fall apart.
Yes, there are.
You always have to be taking care of a relationship. It takes both partners, and it's not easy.
Nope.
Because each person has their own set of needs and agendas and things that they have, or expectations, desires, and it's not easy to continually both balance giving to that relationship and the health of the relationship. So today, Margaret has an article that covers some things that would make a relationship fall apart. We're going to focus on 5 of them.
Okay. And these are not absolutes. There are people who've been in these situations, I'm sure, who have managed to make it work, but they make things much more difficult.
They're challenges.
Right. Number 1, people who don't discuss financial matters.
Okay.
Okay? And we've probably all been taught that it's rude to talk about money and religion and all that stuff. But if you don't discuss financial matters, it's going to come back to bite you. Now, if you're just dating, I just recently, in the last couple of weeks, heard of a couple that broke up because he decided that day it was her turn to pay. Obviously, and she did not expect that. So obviously, that had not been worked out beforehand. I mean, if you both work and she earns a salary as well, there are all different ways you can work it out. But it's a good idea to think about how people feel about money. There are people who feel that money should be spent immediately. There are people who feel that money should never be spent, like Scrooge in The Christmas Carol. And there are people in between. And there are people who have very different feelings around money, but they can work it out. Okay?
Okay.
But the bottom line is you have to discuss finances, no matter how awkward it feels.
Yeah, money does lead to a lot of fights and breakups.
And every once in a while I talk with someone who says they have no idea what their partner makes. Now, these are people who live together. You know, you need to know how much money you're working with and work on it together. And I can think of a couple I once knew who had very little but managed to brilliantly work together to make it work. All right? Those who fall in love with an illusion. And what we're referring to here is it's foolish to choose a partner relying solely on who they might become in the future. Okay?
Yes.
And that's the old illusion that we all have of we can change him, we can change her. If they're with me long enough, they'll be a little bit different and it will be wonderful.
Yeah.
In the end, those are your guesses and dreams, and you will have to live with who they really are.
Yep.
Okay? Because you cannot change people.
A lot of times people fall in love with their potential, as they say, right?
Yeah. He's going to go to medical school, he says, and he's going to be a doctor, and we're going to live an upper middle class life, and it'll be terrific. And he may decide later that he'd prefer to be a truck driver, and he would be happier that way. But whoever you're with, you're probably not going to be able to change. You can encourage them to grow, but that's different from changing who they really are.
Absolutely.
If you don't like somebody's character, bad habits, values, social circle, it's probably not going to work.
I find that some people will invest years into a relationship thinking that that person's going to change. One day they will want to have kids. One day they will want to do this. One day, but they don't have. That's your agenda, not theirs.
That's right. Okay. People who like to even the score, and as crazy as this sounds, I have known people like this. For example, a woman refused to have sex with a man, and he didn't buy her a birthday gift. So there.
To punish her.
That's right. That's this for that. There was a woman who could not go on a vacation with a man when he wanted to, so he went on vacation alone at a totally other time to get back.
So would you say it's passive aggressive?
I would say it's passive aggressive, and it's tit for tat. I mean,
Okay.
it's fairness over love. I mean, if you really love somebody, you'll give them a little extra, if you can. But you're certainly not going to punish everything for every time they're not perfect. That wouldn't be any fun at all.
Yep.
No one is willing to give up their wishes, so the partners play a game called you give me something and then I will give you something in return. And I have heard people do business like that, like it was a business arrangement they were dealing with and not at all a relationship.
Yeah.
I knew a woman once, and her car was on the fritz, and her boyfriend told her that he could drive his car, but only to go back and forth to work. What kind of foolishness is that? She can't go to the grocery store, And the rates will rise until somebody gets smart and leaves the game, ends the game. True love doesn't tolerate competition. You either mutually invest or you drown each other. Okay?
Okay. What's the next one?
Another one that we often see is a star and an admirer. Okay?
Okay.
In such a relationship, one partner is selfish and requires unquestioning veneration from the other. Adoration, veneration, all of that. First, the other partner indulges them and takes care of them until the demands of the star increase many times over, and the person does not receive anything in return.
So it's a very one-sided relationship.
It's a very one-sided affair. But I'm sure the person who's the star thinks they deserve it and they're worth it.
Yeah.
There needs to be a balance of energy and support if you don't want the relationship to be doomed. In other words, the star is going to have to do their end of it, even though they're a star. Or eventually the person's going to walk out on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one?
Partners with conflicting interests. Now, people who love each other genuinely can have very, very different interests. And to some extent, although they say opposite attracts, that's true in some ways, but you have to have some similar interests and goals if you want a relationship to flourish.
Yeah.
If a woman wants to have children and the man doesn't, that's pretty conflicting. And of course, we hear that all the time. All right? Or if she wants to save the world and he wants to work on 3 hobbies that he really enjoys, then that's not going to work out either. And just recently, I had a guy tell me that his wife was out. That wasn't his wife yet. I think it was his girlfriend. She was out saving the world with any number of charities and causes that she was involved in. And he was kind of a homebody, I think. And that was never going to work.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that kind of leap off the page as making relationships either fail or more difficult.
Yeah.
So think about the obvious ones is the moral of the story.
Yeah. It's tricky to navigate. And,
Yes, it is.
There can be a lot of barriers. And if you talk about it, you can work through it.
That's right.
But if you don't, you're just going to wind up going in 2 different directions.
That's right. And, sometimes it can work, and you learn a great deal about what the other person's interested. She might be interested in her boyfriend's hobbies. He might learn to be interested in her causes. There are those things. But if you can't work that out, it's going to be a deal breaker eventually.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully you found this one helpful. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret, of course, is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I could be helpful, please feel free to sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.